Hello.
Hi,
Hello. Can you hear?
Ken, Shariza, right?
Yes. Call me Shah only, Shah.
Shah. It's really thank you for joining the session.
No worries,
I think I've
bro.
already explained to Julia, I think your colleague, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So perhaps welcome to the show. We are Esports Takeout, and
Yeah.
actually, fun fact, you're
Thank you
actually
for having me.
you're our first guest. So
Okay.
happy to meet you. I suppose what I'll do is that maybe I'll just have an introduction of
All right.
the topic today. So what I
Okay.
noticed is that we are trying to increase awareness or improve awareness of esports in Malaysia.
All right.
Um, as we are doing it, the pandemic struck. So when the pandemic struck, everybody stays at home, a bit more free time lah, right?
Okay.
And one of the methods to probably raise awareness of
Okay.
the esports is to organize tournaments for these primary and secondary school kids to get them to participate, and with the hopes of um, their parents getting involved with the scene and also understanding the scene behind this industry, that it's not just playing games, but it could
Correct.
be a viable business and future prospect, right?
Right.
um, I'm I think it's pretty clear that it is still very early stage, and we are still in infancy in terms of the industry, but
Yes.
I suppose that's where you guys, Gen Vijay, comes in, where you guys host and organize tournaments for primary and secondary school students. And I think that's just what we want to talk about, lah. Just have
All
a
right.
casual chit chat to just talk about what you all do, how do you get involved, how do you even start the conversation, right? So perhaps even before we get into what you all do, maybe you can just give us a brief introduction of yourself and how you got into gaming.
All right. Number one, I'm honored to be. I think you mentioned your first guest on this
That's right.
podcast,
That's
right?
right.
Okay, I'm
Welcome,
honored. Okay.
welcome.
All right. Thank you for having me. This is actually my first time being invited in podcast also actually. So for us, I think both first timer lah. Okay.
Yep.
If genvijay.my is actually initially before we formed genvijay.my, we are actually a tuition center.
Oh.
So yeah, back then in 2015, we are a tuition center. We have two branches. One is here, one is in Pahang. So we are a normal tuition center. It's just that we receive a lot of requests from teacher themselves because they wanted to have an event. Let's say, for example, PMR or SPM or UPSR is coming up. So they need to have, what do you call that, a specialist teacher who can actually come and brief the students on how and what is the method of answering question correctly, basically. Not like teaching in schools, but then the method. Okay, what are the types of questions that uh, they need to focus on, basically.
Yes.
So
Yes. Okay.
that's where we come in. That is the start of genvijay.my. Before this, we were called Pusat Tuition Generasi Bijak, based locally in Selangor, in Seri Kembangan. So when that happens, that time 2015, there's a lot of requests. So we were thinking like this could be something that we can branch out. Okay, and then me and partners and teams, we decided that okay, maybe from 2016 onwards, we can focus more on bring up events like that lah, basically. They call it pecutan akhir, for example, because UPSR is coming up. So pecutan akhir UPSR, pecutan akhir SPM. So focus on the trust subject. such as BM, BI, Math, right? Okay, from there, there come another request from teacher. This is all from teacher, basically.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, as you know, some schools, they normally will have this hari canteen.
Yes.
Yeah, correct, because they wanted to collect funding for
Funds. Yes.
schools. Yeah.
Yes.
So they see us doing that bengkel. We call it bengkel pencucian air, right? So they mentioned because we are dealing with a lot of parties lah. Because the guru pakar, you call it guru pakar, does not come originally from KL. Basically, we look for them surrounding Malaysia, basically. So when they see us doing that, okay, they say, can you help us with our hari canteen? Because we want to make this hari canteen specials. Because as you know, if they do, it will be a normal hari canteen whereby teacher will be involved and then students will come in and sell stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when we,
that's what my school does as well.
yeah, correct, right.
Yeah,
So when we come in, we suggest to them, okay, instead of having the normal hari canteen, maybe we can bring in our partners because we are in the event industries, right? We can bring in our partners so that they can bring like Esports to schools. They can bring, that inflatable balloons where their children bouncing inside, right?
Yes.
So we bring bouncing castle inside. We bring archery inside. We bring mini bike inside. So they like it.
So it's carnival stuff.
Yeah, it's carnival stuff.
Okay.
And then they started from there. 2016, 17, 18, we were doing carnivals, schools carnival all over Selangor lah. So basically from there we are having a good relationships with Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Selangor as well. So when, like you mentioned, when pandemic happens, the first few months of pandemic was actually troublesome for us also because in event you need to get people together, right? So we cannot do that. But before that, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Selangor, they wanted to have a carnival for e-sport, meaning that a physical carnival at school, whereby we set up, like for example, during our carnival, the e-sports, we bring consoles to school. There, students can come in and maybe play one-on-one FIFA, one-on-one PES, and then we set up a mini tournament for ML. Let's say, example, for 32 teams. So that's what we do lah. So Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Selangor, they wanted to venture into new prospect lah because they see that esports is growing, right? And they don't have anybody who they can refer to on how to set up esport for Jabatan's program lah, basically. So they mentioned that this one, I think in June, right before pandemic, June in 2019.
Okay.
They call us up in Jabatan Pendidikan saying that okay, next year 2020, we are planning to have an esports tournament at 20 of our school in Selangor lah, basically. Wow. So that's great news for us lah, basically.
So how do you get
it's a new thing?
Yeah, how does the Jabatan, this Jabatan, right? They are should be mainly focused on academics, right? But
yes,
why suddenly they thought of wanting to organize a gaming tournament, which in perception, right? Gaming is not really academic, right? So
gaming is all muscle, right?
Yeah. So why did Jabatan suddenly can have this kind of idea?
Okay, actually, when we discuss with them, they also skeptical about gaming at first. But then we mentioned that, okay, why don't we use gaming as only tools so that we can, like say for example in Selangor, back then in 2019, the absenteeism rate for Selangor student is less than I mean it's 10% only for the whole entire Selangor. So they never meet the KPI for absenteeism.
Okay,
So
okay.
Right.
what interests the student the most? Esport.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. So so it's an idea. At first it was an idea. It's a couple of us with Jabatan people having coffee at Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Selangor canteen. Okay, why don't we do this? Okay, whoever come into school for 3 months straight, they can enter this esport tournament. That's the idea.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
Charis.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
That's
Okay.
actually very, very ingenious.
Correct. So
Yeah.
I remember back in my school days, right, when I was 15 years old,
Yeah.
months before PMR, I also selalu ponteng sekolah lah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
pergi
That's
I
same
pergi
goes to me
CC.
also.
I go CC every morning, and then come back just before the school ends, right?
Yeah.
I change. I really that jump the pagar, come back in school, and then I sit in class. Oh man!
Yeah.
If only we had
Yeah.
Last time the only
if
last
only
time
we
the
had
only thing that
esports
could make us
tournament.
come to school,
Yeah.
the last time only thing you could come to school was the Milo. The Milo truck was coming.
Oh,
Okay,
my-
Yeah.
go to school that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
Okay, so
I think what you-
it developed from there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an idea. It's a crazy idea. But then when we pitch to the head of departments, okay, yeah, probably we could try this because they can actually impose because we wanted to have the carnival at school, right? So let's say, for example, the carnival should start on March. So 3 months before, when they enter school, school started from January, right? So students themselves have to carry their attendance from January
Okay.
until March
Okay.
in order for them to enter the tournament.
Okay. Okay.
But then unfortunately COVID happens,
Yeah.
so we cannot actually do physical events.
Mm,
But JPN Selangor at that time, I mean during March and April, they see that declining in moral for schools students because not only students lah, us also our moral was also down during that time, right? Because when
Yeah.
pandemic hits, the first wave was, I think it hits everybody. Business cannot run, you cannot go to work, you cannot do your usual stuff like Pak Mama, you cannot.
Yeah. Correct.
So yeah, moral hits very bad, and then they see the upgoing of what do you call that? During the weekend, the trend of jenayah, kadar jenayah
Okay.
Yeah.
is actually uprising, and surprisingly, when they get report from police, most of it are from school student.
Okay. I see.
So we decided with Jabatan and with our partners, we can actually bring back this e-sport, but we do it online, 100% online. Okay, now it's not about absenteeism anymore. It's about bring up moral of student, because we know, right, esports even nowadays in Malaysia, it's been getting a lot of attentions. I think because of we did well in the SEA game, and our Dota team is also bringing a lot of prize pool, right? So
Yep.
yeah, correct. So it draw a lot of attentions, and then okay, we said okay, we proceed with this. We change the objective. We use esport as tools.
Okay.
Yeah, just to bring back the moral for the students. So that's how it I mean it started.
Wei Jian, you had a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that how you guys have managed to work so closely with Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri. I just find that really amazing, and I mean, I know you can't speak on their behalf, but maybe you could share with us, what is JPN Selangor, especially since you work the most with them. What is the key thing that they're hoping to achieve in terms of the long term? So I know, like you've mentioned, morale and attendance, but what is, what can you share with us about what they look for things like this, esports in the long run?
Okay. Actually, for us in Jambija, we actually work closely on Jabatan's department under COCO, under unit core curriculum and under unit HAM. HAM is Hal Ehwal Murid, right?
Yep.
So we work closely with these two departments in Jabatan. So these two departments, they have their two different agenda. So when we come in, we try to actually bring these two departments together. Instead of having two programs, why do we have this one big program that can draw a lot of attention from parents, from teachers, and from students themselves? Because our program, in order for them to register, they must be from same school. They must have teachers or their parents as their manager. They cannot register themselves.
Wow.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
this actually involve community inside, other than students and teachers only. So we have parents involving in this as well. So that's what they like about this program, like this particular model. Basically, in the long run, at the moment, all of the Jabatan they actually don't accept e-sport as sports actually, because for them, it doesn't make you sweat. It is not sports.
So we had a discussion about that just the other day.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then there are some schools in Selangor area itself that already have their own esports club. So, meaning that, for example, Guru IT at school, he have the initiative to actually create that club, so that because I think, I think those teachers in the rural area, maybe they are not so familiar with esport, but those in town, city center, they're familiar with esport. So they see that if they groom the students well, the students can actually achieve something in esport, right? So they have their own clubs. It's a small club. It's not registered with anything lah. It's just that, okay, you have president. You have the normal club like club karate and all.
The Coco Club lah. Yeah,
Coco
like
Club lah.
Club internally lah.
Yes, Coco Club lah. Basically, so there are some schools like that. So that's actually motivate us to maybe one day we can actually bring this to be an official club where school can actually choose. Student can actually choose. Okay, example, right? If you go to the first day of school and then teacher will ask you, okay, what you want to enter for Coco, Penakap lah, whatever, right? Bulan Sabit Merah, whatever. So we wanted to have esport as one of the clubs that they can choose. Maybe one day, who knows, right? It's a step in the right direction lah for us, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I understand that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last year was there's the secondary school tournament that you guys organized.
Secondary and primary school both.
Last year you all did it already.
Yeah, last year we did for entire Selangor from April until the end of the year.
What's the reception like? Yeah.
Oh, it was actually tremendous. We got a lot of good feedback. At first, we were also having doubts now with parents. I think maybe because of pandemic also, they see their children forming up their teams and actually contacting teachers to enter this tournament. So they never see that before lah, right? Because everybody stay at home only.
Yeah, nak main game lah, right?
Nak main game punya pasal kan.
Yeah.
So they actually call up their teachers. Okay, I have 5 team members already. I want you to help me register.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So they make the efforts actually to register. So the teacher also surprised about that. So the parents also surprised about that lah, basically. So that's what we see. When the tournament starts, they can also see, because we play Mobile Legend and PUBG, right? In Mobile Legend, you need to have teamwork in order for you to win. You cannot go there, barbar, sorang-sorang, to win, right? It does not work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they see,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, they see teamwork from their students, murid-murid diorang, they see, because sometimes they ask teacher also, okay teacher, I want to have Saturday training. Yeah, from 8 until 10. And then they ask permission for parents. There are some like that. There are some they are doing the wrong way also lah.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, but
Edit.
edit.
I'll share a bit more on that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Then
So
I understand this year you are making it bigger.
yeah, so this year, based on the feedback that we are getting from Selangor, we actually branch out. We open to other state education department. Whoever want to have the same, tournaments for their states lah, basically. So then we receive
Yep.
Johor, Kedah, Perak, and also Putrajaya this year. So currently, this month, it's already first series, because what we do is we believe that if we do only one series, the objective is very hard for you to see the objective. So that's why we make this as 3 series program. So this month is the first series, May is another series, and also July is another series. So it's a 3 series thing, whereby they can train lah. They can train, and also one more thing, they all get certificates by entering this tournament. Because nowadays, just now we mentioned Coco, right?
Yep.
For let's say standard 6 student, for PMR student, they need that cert in order for them to, let's say, to go to MRSM maybe. From BPSR to go to MRSM, right? They need to have what do you call that? Because previously, if they enter Coco, they will get cert for Coco, right? So this cert they can use for them to actually choose which schools they want to go lah. Because it's approved by Jabatan, right? So they can use the cert lah. Same goes to the PMR student, same goes to the SPM student. So that is the value that we bring to them also lah. So that's why I think teachers like and also parents like about this.
So in this case, you mentioned that last year just Selangor, right? And then this year branch out lah. Kedah, Perak, Johor. Is it going to be involving the federal government? Are they? Because I think I read from the news that it's supported by our what is it called, the
Youth and Sports?
No, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, this program is actually supported by Kementerian Belia dan Sukan, KBS.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and also MESF. For Kementerian at the moment, like I mentioned just now, they still see e-sport as not sport. So they don't stop us from doing this, but they don't want to actually accept it at this moment.
I get it.
Yeah, but for Jabatan, for state level, that one is not a problem.
That one they allow lah, they approve lah.
Yeah, they approve. Yeah, because
actually, go on.
Because at the end of the day, they want an activities where they can actually judge their students on their performance, their teamwork. So this is the activities at the moment lah.
This is the only thing they can do.
Yeah, they have online chess also.
With
the big prize pool, but then there's not many people joining.
Okay.
Actually,
because
what you mentioned earlier about how the Jabatan Sukan don't see it as a sport yet. The Kementerian Sukan don't see it as a sport yet, and I think that's a sentiment, or at least that's an understanding or a perception that a lot of parents give out. Let me give you some context about myself. So I'm actually a volunteer with Boys Brigade, Brigade Putra, and we had an event last year, an esports event. We organized an internal esports event. I think we played was Brawl, one of the games, and it was a very successful event. Everything that you have mentioned, we saw it as well. But one of the feedback we got was from parents was, why are they playing games? I don't like the idea of them playing games. Or how can we teach them about games that is, to teach them do things other than games. What's your message to these kind of people, or at least these parents who think that games, there's a difference between gaming and studying, and what is your message to them?
Okay, in our program we custom. Okay, we foresee that some parents might come back to us and then saying that why like sport? They're just playing games. But then if we stop them from playing, they still play, right? Okay, this is what we do in our program. Throughout the live sessions, we will have the involvement of professional medical doctors. We will have the involvement of motivators to be inside the live stream. Let's say, for example, before their draft pick, right? We play out a video from a medical doctor saying on how is the how you're supposed to sit if you want to play a game. It's healthy gaming. So there we will talk about how you take care of your eyes, how you take care of your ears, your sitting position, the lumbar support. So we'll have this. And this is what we promote to parents. Okay. Other than that, for Jambija Esports itself, when we do last year Generasi Isukan Selangor, at the end of last year on December, we have one we call it Bengkel Isukan, a workshop. In that workshop, we invite professional caster from Malaysia. We invite back medical doctors. We invite motivators for students to join in for 2-day sessions. That one is all about esport. Okay, what you want to be if let's say you want to join esport, right? What are the career path that you can take in esports? We have that lah. We have a career. We have someone from MESF themselves to join us to brief out. Okay, esport is not only about playing games. You can be a professional caster. You can be an event organizer for esports, right? So and
absolutely.
For that program also we got a lot of good feedback. So that's why this year also we will be having that. Along this Generasi Isukan Perak, Johor and Kedah, Putrajaya, in between we will slot in another Bengkel Isukan so that they can join in, and then we will have the same MO lah, basically modus operandi, the same not the same panels. Last year we have our members from both school team, Daddyhood and Solos, to become they are actually an icon for our Bengkel Isukan. So this year we have Ikuto, we have Master Ramen. So it's a good feel for them also lah, because they can actually get an actual feedback from the man himself maybe. So
I think at the end of the day it's just memang just education lah, right?
Yes,
I think
yes,
parents nowadays, I believe they memang belum grow up in the video game era lah, not like us lah. I remember me playing video games since I was 8 years old lah. So when I grow up, right, and if let's say I have children, I see my children play video game, pun boleh lah, because I also play last time, right? So I think at the end of the day it's just education, right? And in that sense, right, kalau education, if you see this trend going, right, when you see with other countries and you see with Malaysia, how do you see whether or not Malaysia, in terms of the esports development, are we able to keep up with the other countries? So for example, macam US, right? US and China, super big, right? You can make a living out of esports and streaming professional, or they have established organization. You can join the organization, and in the organization itself banyak department, right? Social media, content creation, blah blah blah. But in Malaysia, The only field I can think of is probably like product or gig fam. So not so many lah. So just thinking whether do you see that Malaysia, whether we are able to achieve that sort of goal lah, that when we say that that you have a career path, that there is actually opportunity in Malaysia.
It's too early to say lah for parents, because educating student themselves on how to play games responsibly is one thing.
Okay.
And educating parents, right? Because most of them are still skeptical actually. They're still skeptical, saying that they're thinking like game is all waste of time, because they don't actually see it as a career path lah. But then if nobody were to do it, right?
It's never gonna change.
Nobody can change that mindset, that perceptions, right? So I think Malaysia, slowly but surely, we will someday become let's say, for example, like Indonesia. Esport is very big there already, right? You can see Philippines, the esport was very big already.
Correct.
So Malaysia actually is on the right track to become like that lah. Yeah, Singapore as well there.
What is some of the things that you will say like will take us to the next level? What is some of the things that you say, like, for example, from where we are now, what's something that we can do that will take us to the next level in terms of building the education about esports? I think that's probably the word that I would say.
I would see this one as number one is awareness. More awareness needs to come from, let's say, if not from us, not from Jamijat Dharma, from maybe like you guys, right? Creating this podcast so that people can actually open up their mind. Okay, why are they talking about this, right? Why are they talking about esports? Like it's some business that you can eat. Yeah, actually, if nobody were to talk about this, then you'll be wasting your time playing lah, basically. Like you mentioned just now lah. Not going to school, stay in the cyber cafe, right? Playing
I need to edit that out also, I think.
And then lompat pagar. That will happen lah, because nobody wants to take the responsibility to give awareness. Nobody wants to take the responsibility to educate. So that's why if we work together, right? If you guys and maybe ourselves also work together in promoting awareness lah, basically. Esport is not that bad. If you do well, you can, let's say, represent Malaysia, and like previously we won gold in Sukansi, right? So Dr. Yu won Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, right?
So,
I think.
Hearthstone.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about our Dota team lah. Our Dota team already collected like how many prize pool, right? So that's what they need to know lah, actually.
Yeah, but the problem with that, right, is that you see the number of successful doctors lah, or the number of successful lawyers I think it's considerably banyak lah. But how many successful Dota players? How many successful Hearthstone player? Memang not a lot, right? I mean, technically speaking, right? So numbers speaking. So that is the problem, I think, of like the parents lah cakap. The career prospect, it is not very stable in that sense.
Yes. Nowadays, at this point of time, I think yes, you're correct on that, because not many parents seeing that. Okay, they will straight away compare esport and also engineering, esport and also doctor, right? They will straight away compare how you want to make a living if you're in esport, because they don't have the knowledge of what is actually going on in esport. For event itself, there are so many people behind the event, right? There are the marshal, there are the admins, there are the caster. All those are actually a career path if they want to take lah. Right. And then from there you can do whatever events you want to do, not only esport, because you already have the experience on doing that thing.
I
Yeah,
think it's just memang to just try to expand the horizon lah. That means
yes,
when you enter esports, right, it's not just becoming a player, kan? It is also become
correct.
streamer, caster, or event organizer like yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wei Jun, you got anything?
Maybe one message you can share to our slightly younger listeners around, right? You mentioned something earlier about responsible playing of games. So maybe you can give us a few tips, at least to our younger listeners, on and also to those who are listening on what is responsible gaming.
Okay, number one, because I'm just a social gamer. I don't actually play games. I don't even play Mobile Legends. I don't even play PUBG. To be honest with you, I play maybe some PES, some racing simulation games. That's it. For me, nowadays we know everyone have mobile phones. They have to be number one responsible with their mobile phones lah. Because sometimes parent might not know what they use the mobile phones for, right? So this is what the most important thing for them, for students. Number one, you have to get approval from your parents. Okay, your parents needs to know what types of game you are playing, because if you're hiding behind their backs, right, they will find out eventually. They will find out.
Yeah.
Parents, this I think this superpower superpower that they will find out whatever you do, no matter how you
They
hide
call
it.
it the third eye.
Yeah, the
They
third
call
eye,
it the third
correct.
eye.
Yes, the third eye.
They'll see it somehow.
Parents will have this. So it's better if you just share with your parents, okay? Because who knows, right? Maybe parents can actually support you, right? Because if number one, there, no lying to your parents, do your homework. Make sure you do your homework. That's what we want to promote actually. If you want to join our esport tournament, you have to come to school. You have to submit your homework to your teacher. That's how teacher choose you to represent school, because this is actually a school event where you represent your school and you get cert by doing that, by doing the thing that you love, lah, esports, right? So if I advise them, number one, be honest to your parents. Just share with your parents. Maybe at first your parent might disagree with you lah, but eventually, I'm also parents lah. If you see your son playing behind your back, you know he's playing game, right? Eventually, you want to know, okay, what is this so special for you, huh? Why is this game so special with you? Then, if you start sharing with your parent, they'll give you full support. No, I don't see that as a thing that's stopping you from doing what you like, basically. Just share with him. I think that, yeah, that's it.
Anything else, Wei Jun?
No, I think that's actually great advice. I think that's probably one of the most sound thing that I've heard in terms of responsible playing, in terms of being open with the people that are
Yeah.
you just do that.
Yep. Okay. I think on that note, I think I told Julia that it's just gonna be half an hour or something. Every time our podcast, right? I also always say half an hour, but we always overshoot. So don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you so much, really, Shah, for
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you.
for
It's actually
joining us.
it's actually good experience for me also lah. Because like I mentioned, this is the first time I was called to join the podcast, right?
Likewise.
So it's a good,
same.
it's a
Good
fun
experience for us as well.
thing to do. Yeah.
So I mean, lastly, just to let the people know, if they want to get in touch with you or they want to know what Jen Bijak is doing, how can they do that?
Okay, they can actually go to our website, janbijak.my. Dot is the titik, .my.
Yep.
And also they can go to our Facebook page and Instagram, all janbijak.my or janbijak esports. All our contact is there, and our live stream for our tournament is also inside that Facebook page lah. Basically, they can actually go and have a look how we conduct our tournaments lah. Basically.
And how you conduct your events lah.
Yeah, correct.
Right, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I think I will stop record.